Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, YouTube community, wherever you are at on the globe right now if you are watching this video. It is Josh with another video on money laundering, and as you can see, I am at the laundromat. I won't be recording myself putting any money into a washing machine today. The money that I laundered legally 2 weeks ago was stained. It did not come out completely clean. All right. I've ran into some advanced tactics of money laundering, so we're going to cover that. We're going to cover a few life lessons that my mother taught me about people and money and people who love money. And we're going to talk about one very wealthy person who has become very public now that the feds have hit the debt ceiling and can't print off any more money to devalue it and make it weaker and weaker as they try to slowly transition everybody into cryptocurrencies, which can be, of course, manipulated via the Alatiri Stepper program without anybody knowing. And while Elon Musk is working to install RF chips into our brains, which, they say that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. I understand he wants to trigger areas of the brain to make the blind see and perform like miracles with it, but let's just face it, folks. What's going to happen when the fucking government gets a hold of that technology? Really? You trust fucking government by now? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. As you can see, I have gotten my tools available, the 3949A forms, information referral to the IRS, a book of stamps, labels with my address, that beautiful 453 North Levitt Road that I am actively working to improve, even though the camera is a little out of focus, and some letters. And I made sure to add my address because the people that are behind all this that have been harassing me do not like me putting my address on my YouTube channel. Okay, so I'm going to do it more and more and more. So the lessons that my mother taught me, I've covered the very first one, which was the very first Bible verse she has ever taught me when I was a young kid, and I remembered it word for word about for the love of money being the roots of all kinds of evil. The second thing she taught me about money was people that love money will never have enough of it. And the third thing she taught me about people who love money, okay, and money in general, is when you want to hurt somebody, you hit them in their pocketbook. You don't go after them directly. You hurt them financially. Okay, I got some screenshots that I need to print off, okay, because there's some different ways that you can launder money that I didn't cover in my first video. All right, the first one is 501c3 and 501c4 charity organizations, like, say, the Obama Foundation or the Clinton Foundation, okay? These are tax-exempt organizations that can operate like a commercial business. They can hire employees, and they can pay administrative salaries that, of course, are tax-exempt. They can also receive donations from anybody, much like St. Jude's or CatHouseOnTheKings.com or Volunteers for America or United Way, from legitimate sources such as us, people that work for a living, because we know St. Jude's is trying to, come up with cures for cancer for young children that are born with rare tumors and may not have a chance at life, or a Cat House on the Kings out in California, which is a cat rescue that does TNR to spay and neuter cats to help keep the cat population in check and find loving homes for our feline friends. But does anybody know what the Clinton Foundation and the Obama Foundation have ever done to help society or make things better? When's the last time they've gave a poor, impoverished child a college scholarship, or even held an opportunity to give a college scholarship? When's the last time they've donated money to a area such as the Highland Homes that I recorded in my videos many, many moons ago last year when I was going after Tim Ryan to improve the area and improve the property values? When have they ever done anything like that with their money? I remember Hillary Clinton selling our uranium deposits to Russia. My guess is the money went from Russia into the Clinton Foundation, which was then paid out to Hillary and Bill as administrative salaries, okay? And thankfully, with all this being on my YouTube, I'm not suffering any depression, so I'm not going to turn up dead from suicide like Jeffrey Epstein did with the vertebrae in his neck that was crushed, which is consistent with people who are strangled and not hanging themselves. Yeah, I've read coroner reports, by the way. I had somebody shoot themselves on my property with my gun 10 years ago. And the people behind this, I have the printed up chat logs from Dark Age Camelot of them trying to frame me for murder. Okay, even though they don't have a motive, you have to have a motive for a murder. That's kind of how that works. So that covers one way. Then there's the way that Nick Barnes and a few people I've came across on Facebook are laundering money through phony LLCs, domestic limited liability corporations that protect your assets, okay, if your business fails. Now, Nick Barnes, in his case in Upper Sandusky, he's living in a house valued at $408,000. And the money he made to pay for that house over the last 15 years, he did with a food truck that sold barbecue, according to him. $408,000 selling barbecue. No wonder the whiny liberals want $15 an hour to flip fucking burgers when they see people like Nick living in a fucking $500,000 fucking mansion while driving a fucking food truck around paying $4 a gallon for fucking gas in a truck that gets 6 miles to a fucking gallon. I'm guessing his barbecue was laced with fucking LSD, PCP, meth, and fucking coke. If I had to take a guess, but... Okay, so there's that way. And what they do is they register it to a residential address instead of a commercial address. All right? Now, the reason they do this is they're still paying taxes. So it looks like it's legitimate funds when it goes into the IRS on your 1040 forms. However, it's actually a front for money laundering because you register a domestic limited liability corporation to a residential address. That's tax fraud for a zoning violation. Commercial properties, even at the same value as a residential property, are zoned with higher tax rates because commercial businesses generate more revenue. So they're still cheating on their taxes. Oh, Nick Barnes is a liberal Democrat like Joe Biden too, by the way. Not that anybody should be surprised by that by this point. All right, and then there's a new way. And that's where you create investment firms that buy stock in each of your own subsidiary companies. I'm pretty sure that's insider trading, but I don't know much about the stock market. And this is where we're going to get to the person of the hour, Mr. Warren E. Buffett, one of the richest men in the world. He has been up in arms now that the Feds hit the fucking debt ceiling. And they know the market's going to crash when the Feds go fucking broke and go into default like it did in 1929. Mr. Warren E. Buffett is the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, which is a realtor company and an investment firm. Berkshire Hathaway is owned by, I think it's BlackRock Group and Vanguard Group. Okay, Vanguard Group and BlackRock investment firms own 18% of Fox, 16% of CBS, 14% of... What one was it? And I know they own 12% of Comcast. Now Sky Media. They own Sky Media. I think it's 14% of Sky Media, 12% of Comcast. It might be the other way around. Comcast is the owner of NBC, MSNBC, CNN, Disney. Wait a minute. Damn, I'm glad I got the fucking tinfoil hat on right now. I'm seeing some fucking dots here. All right. Now, Vanguard Group also owns a rail line company called Norfolk Southern. Norfolk Southern just had a really bad train crash in East Palestine, Northeast Ohio, where I live, last month that Mike DeWine has been spending millions of tax dollars in manpower to get it cleaned up because people are getting sick and dying. So let's see if I got this right. Warren Buffett owns Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway's linked to the Vanguard Group. Vanguard Group is linked to Norfolk Southern. Norfolk Southern has a toxic spill that starts killing people and devaluing property. And Berkshire Hathaway is a real estate firm. I wonder if this was all conspired or not. Gee, I really think I need to go get my Zoloft for my paranoid fucking delusions again. But looking at the paperwork I have on the desk, the question of the hour is, am I going to CVS to get my Zoloft for my paranoid delusions, or am I going to the post office again? Because it doesn't end well for you people when I go to the fucking post office. It hasn't ended well yet. It's not going to. Because you dumbasses picked out of 323 million Americans in this entire country to fuck with. And you picked the one person that lives 18 miles from Youngstown, the most corrupt city in the United States, where everybody around the area tries to work the fucking system and get one over on the fucking government so they can get all kinds of fucking money, or they sit their lazy ass on fucking welfare. that happens to love video games and hates the fucking federal government because his mother taught him to never work or never trust the federal government because she worked for the federal government as an oil drill rig inspector and she served in the United States Air Force before I was born. So she knows all about the government. And do you know why she hated the government? Because they lie, cheat, steal, manipulate. They're liars, cheats, and thieves. Last time I checked, Bible says we're not allowed to like those people either. We're not even supposed to associate with them as Christians. So anyway, I'll let you guys figure out whether I'm going to CVS to get my Zoloft for more paranoid delusions or I'm going to the post office. Thanks for watching and have a great day, guys.